Today's date is November 6, 2017. The title of this lesson is He Continued. I just want to talk here so that we can get some more understanding in our minds as to how we should operate with some common sense in our minds. Because for a little while now, I've been thinking of how people leave, as in my case, the Christian church. And it's like when you come into this Israelite understanding, you can start to just turn around and curse all the Christians and curse the pastors, and you call out their lying teachings and their doctrines. And there are people with videos about how the pastors are collecting a lot of money and the jets that they have that they let the congregations pay for. And, you're pretty much sending them to hell already now that you're out of the Christian church. And it seems that it is so easy for us to click that we like those videos, we like them, and, as long as we're cussing out the Christian pastor, it's fine. But you are almost hated if you wish to speak about the deception that's going on within Israel and how some, of course not all, Israelite teachers, whether they're up and running today or just if yesterday or what, or if they're a more upfront person or they're just behind the scenes pulling the strings and so on, it's like you just can't touch that. You shouldn't say anything. Don't talk about it. As long as this person is running a camp or some kind of movement and they're telling us that we're the Israelites, you just can't touch them. You can't say anything about them. You just got to leave it alone. And so what it seems like to me is that we're just doing the same thing as what we did in the religion of Christianity. You're treating this Torah study as if it's just another religion. And you know what it really is? And my observation, it's just another religion, another one of the Abrahamic religions. Except that you don't call yourself a Christian. You might worship Christ. I don't know why you don't call yourself a Christian. If I call you a Hebrew Christian, you take offense to that. When you really say you are Hebrew, and everybody who knows you know that you worship and believe in Christ. So why are you not a Christian? A Hebrew Christian, an Israelite Christian? But it's like so many of us, and it's easy to, because I did the same at the first as well, leave the Christian religion and we approach the Torah understanding in a similar religious manner. And then we're quick to turn around and tell somebody else who says we are not the Israelites that this is not a religion. But we treat it like it's a religion. So if it's not a religion, why do we find it so easy to function the way we did in Christianity, where you can see a leader in your Israelite community, in the group that you belong to, and they can do anything to you that the Christian pastors do to their people in their congregations, who get cussed out mainly or a lot by the Hebrews. But it is frowned on if you talk about the injustices that are done by Hebrew teachers. Oh no, not my teacher, not my, you can't, and you just hate the person who makes a video and says something about this or that person. And secretly, everyone, when they hear the videos of talking about, the videos talking about how the leaders are teaching this or that, or doing this and that is wrong, and the abuse, and after years it comes out that, yeah, they did this, whatever. Everyone knows it's true. You'll see it online in whichever online social networking site that you have. The posts they fly about, and people, yeah, and they like this and they like that, and they share this and they share that, and they know it's true. But it's like you just can't, like people hide behind that. It's easy to just, type up something or whatever. But the moment you put it in a video, now you have to be hated, because you see, it's like posts and tweets are something that seem to have a more, I don't know how to put it now, but it's got more tolerance to it. You can cuss out a Christian pastor and a bishop, even if he's a black bishop that's in our community, who a lot of Hebrew Israelites still listen to get through their weeks and the months of the years. But then they turn around and they curse that same bishop because of his doctrines. While your own teacher should be cursed as well for his doctrines and for his habits. If you've got a black bishop who's in the Christian church, he's teaching something wrong. Now, maybe when he just started out, he didn't know the error of the teachings in the Christian religion. But as he grew over the years, he learned it. Now he's very big. It's hard for him, he feels, to stop. And of course it is. And then I thought about it one day, and I said, when you're tied up in so many things, and you've gone that many years in it, it's really difficult to turn around. It really is. That's why most pastors won't be saved. And most Hebrew Israelite leaders won't be saved as well. Because leadership is something where people take it so personal and so deep, to the point where if they have told you for so many years that God is leading them and they have led you a certain way, and then after 15 years, 20 years, they realize, okay, that's the wrong path. They feel like if I just turn around and change now, then it's going to look really bad on me. And instead of stopping and just doing the right thing like they taught us all the years with all the different scriptures, that it's right to turn around and to repent, because repentance deals with turning around. Instead of doing that same thing that they told you for years to do, that sometimes they taught you carefully to do, other times they cursed you and whipped you with the word to do it, to turn around. Instead of doing that same thing and just humbling themselves, they do the same thing the Christian pastors and bishops are doing. They continue in the same path. But you just can't talk about it. So they continue in the same path. And they will hate on everyone who speaks on the injustices that are happening in the Israelite communities by the Israelite leaders. Where so many people, as I've learned over the years, have complained about this or that leader, this or that brother, and so on, and what's going on, and the different abuses that are going on behind the scenes. And it's like they don't really care. They just continue. And people continue to support them, and you wonder why it continues. Now, if someone is continuing to be wicked on large scale, why do they do it? Because they're getting the support. You're continuing to support them with your money, and God is not telling any of you to give them your money. You just feel to give them your money. The scriptures don't teach me that you have to fund Israelite movements with your money and your credit card in order to get out of Babylon 2.0. It doesn't say that. The Most High kicked us into captivity without us paying money to get into the captivity. And he says in Jeremiah 31, basically he's going to grab us and take us out. And in Isaiah 11, he's going to grab us out of that slavery, and my people will be slaves no more. So you're not going to have the money to pull yourself out. So he's going to have to come and pull off the rescue operation. So you don't have to have the money to give to any Israelite leader or teacher. I'm not saying don't continue to give it to them. I'm just telling you, when they pressure you over the top, you don't have to give that. Give it from your heart, surely, if you want to, and there's really nothing wrong with it. Hey, we're supporting each other and so on. I'm just saying, when you're giving your money, who are you giving it to? To the same teachers who lie with expert Hebrew knowledge, who curse unrighteous bishops and pastors in the Christian religion, but they don't want to take a look at themselves in the same mirror of the word and see how unrighteous and unjust they have been with you in teaching their deception and in elbowing you out of the way if you try to open your mouth and complain about this or that they're doing, and the wicked ways that they have, the abominations that they support. But they continue. So I'm going to read to you here about a man who continued, even though the Most High was done with him. Because you see, what's happening is that the Most High is just going to keep raising up more and more people who start to look at things in a way that says, no, the righteousness should be restored. There's so much talk about law, and keeping the law and doing this. And a lot of those people who are teaching the law in an upfront manner, not all of them now, of course, just come on now, but a lot of those ones who have become so well known for teaching the law are wicked behind the scenes and evil in front of your faces. And you can't touch them, you can't do anything about them, or they'll just cuss you out and they'll just cut you off and stuff like that. They'll kick you out of their congregation, their camp, and so on and so forth, because you shouldn't say anything about them. And because the mind of the Israelite is destroyed, you just continue to support them. So now when you see people starting to pull away and move away from some of these camps and movements who were long-time supporters, and they're coming out and they're telling you of the evil that's on the inside of those camps, backstage and so on, and in the secret rooms, you must know that the Most High is just exposing the lying teachers, the deceivers among our people, who are not bringing our people to righteousness and to set apart kind of lifestyle, but they are bringing you to the knowledge of it. You see, they are giving you the knowledge of the Torah that says to live right and to do right and to be right and to keep the law. They're giving you knowledge of it because they have studied many books over the years. But that's what they're doing. They're giving you the knowledge of it, but they are not living it before you. And that is the problem. And the Most High is crying out about that. It is wrong to treat people in ways that equal the injustices that we saw in the scriptures, that prophets like even Isaiah cried out as the Most High dropped a word on him here or there to speak out against it. Look at the injustices in the Bible. Eventually the Most High says, like in Amos chapter 5, away with the noise of your songs and so on. And we use that to curse out the Christian churches with their songs and their prayer meetings and their all-night prayer meetings and their concerts and so on, and their Sunday morning services. Away with the noise of your songs and so on, because, and then we just shift over to because your lying doctrines of Easter and Christmas and so on. We cuss them out. And how the pastors live and they take advantage of the people and so on. When most of us had a more comfortable experience in the Christian church, it's just that they weren't teaching the Torah. But a lot of us, although some had some problems, a lot of us had a more comfortable and more pleasant experience in the Christian church. And we come here to this Israelite understanding, and you find Israelite teachers just hating you and cussing you out and going through a lot of teaming up with different people just to discredit you and take you down and to tell lies about you because you want to say something about the wrong things that they, the leaders, are doing. And they tell all kinds of fancy lies about you because you spoke up the truth to expose them. And they'll make up the most incredible lies about you because you opened your mouth to speak up for righteousness. Yet these lying teachers, they continue. So if we look here in 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 1. Samuel also said unto Saul, The Most High sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Most High. So Saul was anointed to be king, but we know that he ended up doing his own thing, didn't follow the instruction of the Most High properly, and he ended up changing over time, even to the point of trying to kill David as well. The next man that the Most High rose up. Because when the Most High raises up people and they reject his word, but they still look like they are for the word, the Most High rejects them and then he raises up other people. But those people who are rejected still continue, even though the Most High is starting to set his sights on someone else, starting to deal with other people. He's starting to raise up other people. He's starting to give a voice to other people. But like Saul, some of these people still continue. They still teach the Torah because they still continue to function. But the Most High is done with them. They're still going to look like they are the best thing from God. Why? Because they're still wearing the priestly garments. They still know all the rituals, how to perform them and when to perform them. They can read the signs of the moon and whatever. They can tell you down to a T. They got it all figured out. They know it. And so they continue to function, but the Most High is looking at someone else. So when we say now that because this or that person, I've known them for many years and they let me know that, about this Israelite truth and about the Torah knowledge and so on, and the deception in Christianity or in whatever other religion we came out of, some of these other Eastern religions and so on that people get into these days. Because you say this person was there at the starting point when you came into this knowledge. You feel like it is a lifetime relationship that you have with them. The Most High is like, you're trying to have a lifetime relationship with them or with me. Is it them you are supposed to follow, or should you be following me, what I say? Because the Most High doesn't put some priority with a lifetime relationship with a person just because he called them. No, he does that if he called them and the person continues through their lifetime to live with him. When they decide to change and start to reject his word, he's just done with them. He cuts off that relationship. He's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm just going to go with someone else who will do my will. But you, the Israelite with the mind that has been destroyed and broken by deception, broken by slavery, broken by lack of knowledge of the Torah, you feel you should just continue no matter what. And it's in that sense that I say we're still treating it like we did in the Christian religion, where some people don't just grow past a certain point. Whatever the level of their pastor is where they will stay till the day they die or till the day he dies. And some of them, when the pastor dies or moved on, they can't bear to stay in the church anymore under the new pastor. They just have to leave because their life was their pastor. Their life was not God. And so you've got a leader who was a certain way when you just learned of this Israelite understanding, and you cannot grow any further past the point where they are at. Even when you see and can tell that this person is not teaching properly anymore, you will still stay there because you have been infected with something that does not allow you to use your own mind to think for yourself and to grow past that point. You can't grow past that camp. You can't grow past that teacher. You can't grow past where they say you are allowed to grow past. You are scared that they will curse you out. You are scared they will turn on you. You're just too scared of everything. And that makes you a scared person, scared of growth, scared of further revelation of the scriptures, scared of what the Most High can do in your life, scared of where the Most High will lead you, so you never go further to being led further than where they are at because you are afraid. And for some of us, the Most High has been wanting to lead us on and to do more things and so on. And you just feel you've got this die-hard, this lifetime proclivity to what they taught you, that you cannot be taught any further things of the Most High. So if the Most High wants to do some further move in your life or in a certain part of the city or in a certain part of the country or in another country, you're not even free to move and to spread your wings and to just function and move like the Most High wants you to move when He wants to get something else done in your life. Because somehow you have been taught that you must follow all the instructions of the person who first told you you're an Israelite. And so you limit yourself. So as Saul changed over time, then eventually now when we get down to the last verse in 1 Samuel 15, and that's verse 35, it says, "And Samuel came no more to see Saul until the day of his death. Nevertheless, Samuel mourned for Saul, and the Most High repented that he had made Saul king over Israel." The Most High is done with Saul now. No new instruction coming to Saul. No new use of Saul for the deliverance and establishing of Israel. He's just done with Saul because Saul wants to do his own thing. Saul is not obedient to the voice and instruction of the Most High anymore. But Samuel, in that sense, he's kind of like some of us, where this was the first king set up. And so there's some kind of a bonding there and some emotional kind of bond and so on. Oh, but he's the first one that told me I'm an Israelite, so I can't leave and whatever. And you know how hard I worked to help this camp get set up like 20 years ago? And you just can't leave. But Samuel, he just felt that kind of same way, like, oh man, he's mourning over Saul. It's like a sad moment for him. He can't. But the Most High was done with him. So even though he's there mourning and so on, the Most High is looking at it like, I don't know what's Samuel, like, this isn't something Saul is doing. It's something I am doing. I am the power of Israel. I'm the Most High. Saul is not an end all. It's a nation I'm trying to establish. I want it to run a certain way, and if I'm using Saul and chose Saul and Saul doesn't want to go, where I want him to go, I just got to find someone else to do the job. I mean, we got work here to do. Like, okay, you cried your little time, but I mean, how long? Like, get up and move on. Here's the next instruction. But some of us, we couldn't be Samuel because we couldn't move on. And some of us are slowly dying internally and dying spiritually because the Most High told us long time ago, get up and leave that camp, leave that teacher, leave that liar, leave that abuser of men, leave that abuser of women, leave that deceptive person who has no regard for processes and procedures but will lie and cheat their way through and cheat you as well. A user. And you just did not walk out. Not just walk out of that leadership role that you had with them, but walk into the future of what the Most High had for you to do. So it's not just them that you didn't leave, it's your future that you left off from running towards. And you are dying with regrets. And you don't know how this can turn around again. So you just continue to support a system that brings your inner death. And that continues to prey on people that you love. And you see them doing stuff to people. You know this is a righteous sister and they shouldn't have done that to her. But you continue to support them. And you go home and you feel like, man, that is so wrong what they did to her. But you continue to serve them. As long as they'll teach me more about the law, how to pour the oil and when to pour the oil and when the Sabbath day is and when whatever. As long as they're telling you to grow your beard, and as long as they're telling you to grow your hair and to buy this other Hebrew garment that you can hardly afford, some of you, as long as they're telling you law, you can't see that you're just in another Abrahamic religion, like the Christian church that has all their rules, yet they tell you there are no laws. And all these rules that they give you when you show up the next Sabbath day, rule, because it's law. But there is no love. There's no care about who you are as a person. They care about how much you will support them. And the moment you decide to stop, because one time after 15 years you decided to have a feeling for yourself, to have a thought for yourself, all of a sudden they got their eyes looking at you out of the corner of their eyes now, because you look like you're slipping up. Just because you want to think one time after 15 years, you want to do something different. All of a sudden you are suspect. All of a sudden you are slipping. Because you're just supposed to be a zombie for them. And some of us, we read the prophets, but we could never have been a prophet in the times of the scriptures. We could never, because we're too afraid. We're too afraid to lose the friends. We're too afraid. So in 1 Samuel 16 verse 1, and the Most High said unto Samuel, How long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill thine horn with oil and go. I will send thee to Jesse the Bethlehemite, for I have provided me a king among his sons. So Saul is still functioning. He's still the king. He's still up and running. He still has command. He still has rule over the people. He's still got an army under him, people that can do his bidding, and so on. Everything looks normal. There are still priests in the land. Everything just looks regular. He still continues, but he has been rejected. The Most High has already selected a man already, before even Samuel knew about it, but Saul still functions. Saul's still running around, but the Most High is done with him. And it's like you fail to understand that with more and more people rising up to speak out about these things, to cry out, you can't understand that this or that leader that you cling to for life, for Hebrew life, the Most High is done with their movement. They still look like they're functioning well. They're attracting a lot of people. They still got people working for them. They look up and running, but they are rejected. Because the Most High is doing new things as new people, new voices are coming on the scene. New people are seeing things differently. New people are starting to think that which is Hebrew Israelite doesn't have to be seen as a cult, but can position itself in a better way, where it can be more appealing to the people that you want to reach, instead of people just seeing you as just one of those other nasty teachers of the Bible who just love to cuss out other people. It's like this whole Hebrew Israelite stuff in some ways just has to be revamped. The way that we present ourselves to the public, that we present ourselves to people. And you can't see that because the old stalwarts don't want certain changes. But Saul was still up and running, and the Most High was so done with him that he had already selected another man. And he says, why you keep mourning for him? Why? When this man is really a killer. Because now he's going to go and try to kill David. The Most High selected another man and he's going to try and kill him. But people were supporting him. To the point where in 1 Samuel 22, when Doeg the Edomite told him, hey, yeah, I was there that day and I saw for myself the whole thing happened right in front of me. Ahimelech, yeah, he helped David and he gave him sword and whatever, he gave him bread and so on. And there he is still supporting. Saul said, fall on these priests and kill them. And the men were afraid. But other evil men who were supporting Saul decided, yeah, I'll do it. Supporting the ones who are not going to push the nation forward. but who are bringing down and stifling the nation. So what Saul is doing then by having the priests killed is that he's culturing the mind of the nation of Israel to use evil to run the nation, so that every king after him should learn that this is how a king should operate. Do what you feel like. Every leader should just do what they feel like. Cut down this one, do that kind of evil, do whatever. Take matters into your own hands and just, who cares what the Most High says? Who cares what the prophet says? If this one and that one don't want to do it, you will always find some among your supporters who will do the evil. Don't worry about the ones who are crying out saying this is wrong. You got enough stuff. If you are regular and if you are consistent and if you're always before the people every week teaching, you will find enough people to support you, because people are often going to support you even if you are a deceiver. As long as you can just dress the part and look the part and be well studied, you're going to find enough people to support you. But you are rejected. So think for yourselves, people, and learn the spirit of the Torah and not just the Hebrew words of it. Don't just learn what you quote-unquote call the law, but learn what the Most High wanted you to see through the keeping of the law or the teachings. So if the Torah means teachings, then the Most High is really teaching Israel how to live before Him. So when you deal with the Torah, is your camp leader your real teacher? Or is the Torah representing the Most High, because it's His word, your real teacher? Is the Most High your real teacher? And would the Most High tell you to support a kind of system that stifles other Hebrew Israelites who are trying to return to find their way back to Him? Ask yourself that question. Does the Most High support what you are doing when you support the ones who are not doing what is right?